Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It is none other than CLX Foundry Live. I'm your host, DJ Blue PX, and of course, joining me live from our studios in Wichita, Kansas, it is our lead technical expert, Paul Steffens, and our master builder, Zach Killingsworth. Woo!
Hello.
All right. So, we've got a fun project today for Ramon in New Jersey, and this is going to be kind of fun to put together because we're doing it in our very new, it is called Tech Snow. Tech Snow. It is a Horus NV5. So, gentlemen, what are we shoving in this thing?
All right, so going inside of this, starting out with our processor, we've got the Intel Core Ultra 9 285K. To cool that, we've got our CLX Quench 360 AIO in black. For our motherboard, we've got an ASRock Z890 Pro-A with Wi-Fi on board. For our memory, we've got 2 sticks of Patriot, 32 gigabyte, DDR5 5600 speed, so a total of 64 gigs of memory in this system. I said Patriot, I meant XPG. That's what we got in there. For our storage drive, we have a Patriot.
The Patriot.
Yeah, we have a 2 terabyte Patriot P300 NVMe M.2 drive. Alongside that, we've got a Western Digital 6 terabyte blue HDD as a secondary storage drive. For a video card, we've got an RTX 5070 Ti, which is the first time for the show, so excited to get that out.
Yes.
For our case fans, we've got 8 of our Game DS Aeolus M2s in black, and for our power supply, we've got the MSI Mag 850 in black. It's 80 plus gold, fully modular power supply, all going inside this black NV5 Tech Snow edition.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Well, while you guys get the case set up, I'm going to go ahead and cover what everybody is definitely jonesing for, and that is to know, what about the codes? So we are definitely giving away a PC, and we've got less than a week left in the giveaway. So you want to make sure you enter. It's exclamation giveaway in the chat to find out more. Now, the codes that we get, look at that. It's so gorgeous. The codes that you're going to get are going to be for extra entries into the giveaway. Now, there's different ways of finding and locating these codes. You can find them here on our streams on Tuesdays. You can find them on the TikTok stream on Thursdays. You can also find them on our social media. That is YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. And there might be one there. You might find one in the Discord at discord.gg/CLXgaming. And you'll always find one on my stream, which was always after the CLX shows. So, with that being said, if you have questions about anything that you hear or see here that might just not make sense, then somebody else is already probably wanting to ask that question and just hasn't yet. So please ask away. We love to answer questions. Jensen, hello over on the YouTube side. What's going on, Constant?
Hi.
And Necro's here.
Oh, you said that.
Nice.
I was like, I'm in chat. Oh.
What about the sticky beard guy?
I am in chat.
Sticky Beard's in the house.
What kind of... I don't... Never mind. Paul and I were talking about that beforehand. If you were to have a beard of stickiness, what is the stickiness?
What have you
Is it
been
honey?
doing?
Or is it donuts?
I'm going to guess
Are we eating donuts? We're eating lots of donuts.
blueberry jam.
Ooh. We've
That could
been
be
jammed.
You be jamming.
Yep. All right. So for our motherboard, we've got ourselves a ASRock Z890 Pro-A Wi-Fi motherboard. Now, this is the 890 chipset. So this is the brand new one.
Yep, it is a new one to match the new Intel CPUs.
Nice. Well, let's take a look at that IO shield real fast. Oh, nice backplate. Dig it. So the IO shield is gonna have your HDMI, obviously, and your DisplayPort, along with your Wi-Fi antennas up top. Then down below there, we've got one Thunderbolt 4 Type-C port. That's 40 gigs for USB 4 protocols, and it's also a 40 gigs per second Thunderbolt protocol. You've got one USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 2 Type-C port, and that is 20 gigs up, 20 gigs down. Then you've got a 3.2 Gen 2 Type-A port, which is 10 gigs, two 3.2 Gen 1 ports. You've got 4 USB 2s, your RJ45 for your Ethernet, and then of course you've got your buttons and your audio. There you go. It's all being protected by what can also be used as a weapon. All right, now we're going to be setting this onto that bracket right there. Zach, what is that? What does that do?
That is our backplate for our retention kit. With the AMD processor and motherboard, we do need to install those, but on most AMD motherboards, they come pre-installed.
All right. There we go. Now, as we're putting this together, I'm excited about this 50 series. Arcade Revolution, hello! The 50 series is our first time putting it in a system on the show.
Yeah, definitely a first time
guys,
for the 5070 Ti. I believe we did a 5090 and a 5080.
Yeah.
We did a 5090 for
did
sure.
we?
Yeah, I think we've done 80s and 90s. This will be the 70, the first 70.
Which me and Zach were kind of like, oh, shoot, we didn't even realize we got these in.
Yeah.
Okay, our processor is going to be, and this is the brains of the PC, is going to be an Intel Core Ultra 9 285K. Paul, these are different than, say, the like the i9s. So how is this different?
Yes, this is the new generation of Intel processors, the Ultra. So it is a 24 core, 24 threads. That's a pretty big difference. There's no hyper threading anymore. That's broken in between 8 performance cores and 16 efficiency cores. It's got a base speed of 3.7 and a boost up to 5.7. Now they did, I believe, a different chiplet design on this processor, which is what's making it perform really well, and it does really good at being power efficient. So when you're not needing all the power, it throttles itself down, uses those efficiency cores, and then when you need the performance, it can boost up for that.
Nice. Excellent. All right. Now, what Zach's holding right there is going to be our AIO, and that is a CLX Quench 360mm AIO in black. And it is RGB that will light up there. So this is how we're going to cool the processor. Obviously, these processors can get pretty hot, so you want to make sure you've got a good cooling solution. And that right there, that little circle, is what we call thermal paste. So walk us through what this does and how it works, Zach.
So thermal paste, well, our processor gets really hot. Our AIO disperses all of that heatedness, and we can transfer the heat from our processor to our AIO or heat distribution device via thermal paste. And
there we go.
The fancier the paste, the faster the system runs.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And as far as liquid coolers go, because there's open, closed, and air cooling. Paul, can you walk us through those three different types and which one this is?
Yeah, so this is liquid cooling that we got right here. Now this is a closed loop system with an AIO, so it's all in one. There's already coolant inside of here. Just grab the right side of hardware that matches your motherboard socket, and you're pretty much good to go. I mean, you can see we're almost done installing these. These go on really easily, and they provide really good cooling. The other option of liquid cooling, you can do an open loop system where you can have tubes custom bent. We do all that here. There's soft tubes and hard tubes. Most customers choose the hard tubing. I think it just looks cleaner, but you can get a lot more customization on that. You can choose your color of fluid, your color of fittings, your radiators, your pumps, all that good stuff. Those ones look really nice. But if liquid cooling isn't your thing, you can go with an air cooler. There's a lot of good aftermarket ones of those as well.
Hello, Jericho and Comrade over on the kick side. We've got Ovi and then Beantown Block. Hello. Now, I want to address something that Arcade Revolution is experiencing. It says the Windows that I've got with my CLX PC was working fine, but now it asks me to do the welcome setup thing every time I boot it. Any ideas? I have that pop up happen on Windows 10, and that is not the CLX PC. So it is that is a Windows thing. You don't have a Windows CD. It came with it, right? So, Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure if Microsoft put out an update or something like that. I'm still on Windows 10 on my home PC. That's the one I use the most, and I haven't ran into that issue. But yeah, kind of hard to troubleshoot that.
Okay. I missed that. No more CPU goop for cooling adherence? Technically. All right, now we're getting this all put together.
There's plenty of CPU goop already on there. That's what we'll call it for now on the gray goop.
Is there a restore partition? Ordy asks.
If you have Windows,
that is a good question.
There should be a restore partition.
Yeah. That's how you guys set them up, right?
Yeah, it's how anytime you install Windows, whether you do it at home or we do it here, it always sets up a small partition for itself there.
And as far as how the liquid cooling works, like, is it a detailed on the AIO? Is that what you're asking?
That's an easy one to go over.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So our processor will heat up, and this is our pump in here. And then, like Paul said, this has all of our solution inside it. One of these is a hot tube, and one of these is a cool tube. So our fluid will go up, and it will run down all these long lines, and the fans will help blow it out, help to cool it. And then this section up here is divided. So we have hot liquid coming in one side, cool liquid leaving, and then it just recycles. It goes down, gets heated up, goes up to its radiator, gets cooled off, and then comes back down and just keeps doing that until you are done gaming.
Nice. Spartacus. I love that name. That's hilarious. Last time I built a machine was in the 90s. Old nerd juice is flowing. Thanks. And agreed. We remember just the air coolers were wild. All right. What's also wild is RAM. We got to have a way for our brain to think and to get its thoughts put through. And these are two 32 gig sticks of XPG DDR5 5600. Now that's a lot. That's 64 gigs, and there's 4 slots, which means there's potential for expansion. If you're going to expand your RAM, how do you want to do that, Paul?
So you want to go with the same brand and speed that you currently have. Now, you don't have to, but you can run into some stability issues if you start combining brands and different speeds. So it's highly recommended to go with the same brand and the same speed memory when you're upgrading.
Yes. All right. Now, next up is our hard drive. And so there's going to be 2 in this, but the first one we're going to be putting in is our M.2. This is a 2 terabyte Patriot P300 NVMe M.2. Well, what's the difference between that and the secondary storage that they're going to be getting, which is a 6 terabyte Western Digital Blue hard disk drive?
So the difference here, obviously the NVMe M.2 is way faster than these old mechanical hard drives. Now, these mechanical hard drives definitely have their place as a secondary storage. I use 2 of them in my system, I believe, at home. But these smaller NVMe M.2 drives are just so much faster. If you have your operating system on there, your system's going to boot up in a matter of seconds versus minutes if you've got an old HDD. And so any games you have on there as well, you're going to have really reduced load screens and all that. So the NVMe drives are just way faster, the way to go.
Let's see, jumping back up to what Cosworth mentioned, about to start using my Steam Deck as a PC in addition to its console mode, as my Mac has started to pump out heat constantly no matter how small the load. My old Mac did that because it had an Intel processor in it. Now they've got the different ones that aren't as hot, which is an interesting thing. Okay, up next. Now we get to start putting things together. So the first thing we're going to do in order to make sure this radiator works correctly is we are going to be installing fans. We've got 8 GameDS Aeolus M2 black fans with RGB on them. And you can see 3 of them are going to go on the radiator. So, Paul, what side do you put them on, and how do you know that you've got them installed correctly?
So we want these oriented in a way that the air is going to be pushing through the radiator fins. So the side you're seeing right now, air is going to be coming in through here, pushing it through the radiator and out the top of the case. Pushing air through is a lot more effective than pulling it through, but you can still set your radiator up that way if you really want to, or if your case, the way it's engineered, is designed to have the fan and AIO placed that way. But it's always preferred to be pushing air through. Now, if you've got room in your case and room in your budget and you want extra fans, you can put fans on both sides of the radiator and do a push-pull, and that is even more effective than just pushing air through.
Jensen over the YouTube side mentions, I have 1 SSD for the OS and then 1 for gaming and 3 hard disk drives for storage. Never enough space these days with huge games. You're not wrong.
There you go.
And then Obi says, I participate and I don't have a PC, and I'm so happy because I have 1,008 entries. I'm so happy. Awesome. Congratulations.
I was just telling Zach before the show, I was downloading Monster Hunter Wilds last night. And I downloaded on my big 6 terabyte HDD where all my Steam library is. And then when I got into the game, it was like, it is recommended to have this game on a SSD. And I was like, ooh, I don't have room on my NVMe drive, so we might have to make that. So I'm going to play it on the HDD. I haven't seen any issues yet, but I haven't played it that much. So I just thought it was weird to get that warning in a game. I hadn't seen that before.
The performance difference, at least for Siege, Rainbow Six Siege, between originally on my hard disk drive, which was a hybrid drive back when they made those, the difference in the performance of the game when I put it on an M.2, oh my lord, absolutely incredible. So I have a question for something that I've been noticing, because I've been having fun with watching the task manager as I'm playing a game. So let it sit on top, so it's down to this little mini strip.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how much the GPU and CPU don't always get used. So it seems like there's always this load on, you would think that there's always this high load on the graphics card for all the graphics, and your CPU would be just going for all the, but it's like, at least not on mine. So why is it that that it's more one or the other, and when does that occur?
Well, it all just depends on what's going on in the game at that time. So if you're looking around a lot, or if it's trying to load in a lot of textures like big explosion, you'll see that GPU utilization spike up, and just depends on what's going in there. There's a lot of times though where it's not uncommon for it to be running at like sub 40% utilization. You just want to have the headroom so that when you do need it, it doesn't slow your frame rate down to like 5 FPS or something like that.
Yeah, that sometimes happens. I mean, if you're playing a network game, like, for example, Warhammer. Say I'm playing Warhammer. And is it possible for however we're connected to the server to cause a decrease in frame rates?
It won't. It'll be basically based on just your lag. It'll be all your internet connection. It won't, like, if you do get a decrease in frame rate, it won't be because of your hardware. If it's something over the network.
Beantown mentions, love these walk-alongs on builds. Knowledge is power. Thank you so much. Jensen said, yeah, a lot of people don't know these things and aren't comfortable enough to build, so it's definitely nice. They take time with Q&A. Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
What? I thought we pre-recorded every episode.
It's live! We're doing it live! All right. Now we're getting this all installed. One thing you did notice that Zach did that I didn't quite touch on was putting in that I/O shield. The I/O plate on the back. You got to be very careful with those because they are very sharp.
Correct. Pokey.
Yeah, those things can cut you up pretty quick. Now, some motherboards come with them built in, so you don't have to worry about it, but some don't, so just be careful if it doesn't come pre-installed.
Let's see here. Cosmic mentions it was a MacBook Pro 2013 dual Core i5. There we go. Mine was somewhere in there. I think mine was an i7, but yeah. It was way back when. Now they're running a lot better. Let's see. By the way, I want to point out on the bottom here, see where that you've got that mesh netting down below. That is for, whoops. I'll go back to that last shot real quick. Oh no, it's right there. And that is going to help. You can slide it right in and out. It helps with filtering anything that's going to try and get in through the intakes. So how would you go about cleaning that? And how often do you need to clean that?
So all you gotta do is just slide it out like this. You can pull it out, wipe it down, rinse it off, however you want to do it. Slide it back in. You probably don't need to do that. Like, my recommendation for this changes all the time, for maybe once every 6 months. I don't follow my own rules for that, so mine's pretty bad at home, but yeah.
All right. Tempers is in the house. Finally gave in is here. Hello. Never forget, if you want to find out more, type exclamation giveaway, and it'll give you the links to get into the giveaway. 6 days left. I'm excited to see who's going to end up winning it.
6 days left.
One neat feature about this case is the way that the bottom is angled. So it's higher in the back than it is in the front, which allows for more airflow. So when it comes to how and where you're going to place your PC, what are some good rules, tips, and tricks in order to avoid things like static electric discharge or excessive dust in your system?
We won't have to worry about electrostatic discharge or anything. The case will ground itself, but the biggest thing is you want this area, this section right here, to be as unobstructed as possible. You can see we got this mesh filter, and then there's a couple little other holes that the air's got to go through. So this is going to be mainly how the system breathes. Now we are still going to have intake in the side, but you want to keep this as clear as possible.
Knock, knock.
Over here in the Twitch chat, Ivan says, knock, knock. Who's there? Ivan says, code. Ivan Gibbons says, code who? Ivan says, code CLXG-24TY. That is CLXG Charlie Lima X-Ray Golf -24 Tango Yankee. That is 24. Thank you. There we go. Make sure we get that in all the chats. Congratulations on your first code of the day. PC off the floor, gang, stand up.
DJ, how do you have your PC displayed?
I have mine displayed on this perfect looking sarcophagus. This is the crate that my CLX Raw PC came in, and it is made of wood, so it does not transfer electricity. My other PC is sitting on a small frame underneath the desk, but it's sitting on ceramic tiles. So I've got one ceramic tile under each of the 4 feet, so that there's no way that it can be shocked. I also there's no carpet in here. It's just audio padding. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I'm just getting those codes over there. There we go. Your first code is worth 50 extra entries. That's fantastic. Fantastic. And then we've got, game department. Hello. Nice to see you. So one thing I do want to point out also, what Zach's got his hand on, or his right hand on, it looks like this little, it's what's called a power shroud. And that, not only does it light up, but it has a really cool function. Paul?
So that is where our power supply is going to be kept. Now it's got its own compartment down here, so the power supply can sit there, get its own fresh air in from the bottom and shoot it out the back. That way none of the heat from the power supply goes into the main body of the case. And it's also just going to make the whole system just look cleaner. We're not going to see all the cables coming out of the power supply or anything like that.
What's the UART header?
UART header?
Yeah, UART.
UART?
UART. It looks exactly like a RGB header, but the posts are spread just far enough apart to where it's not. I've always been curious.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if I've ever used that header before.
Yeah.
Could be something that they just put on there for quality.
I'm looking it up.
Testing,
it's a science header.
Okay, so it says a UART header is a physical connector on a circuit board that provides access to the pins needed for a universal asynchronous receiver or transmitter, or a UART communication interface, typically consisting of the 4 pins for transmitting and receiving data, power, and ground, allowing a device to connect to another device using serial communication protocol.
All right.
That's a lot of words.
Yeah, I know exactly what it's used for now.
Okay, so then can you explain it? Because what I just read, I am very confused by.
We are all confused.
I'm confused as well. Something for
like
testing?
some sort of receiver, like if you had some, I don't know, maybe some IR remote that wasn't your fan, something weird you wanted to set up. I don't know.
Conrad mentions, sweet, thanks, rocking an i7-3700 based 14-year-old system, would love to win. Yes, you would.
Good luck, Conrad.
Yes. Jensen mentions that shroud is actually cool. I like the aerodynamic design for max speeds on the highway. Yes, definitely. And it is a NV5. As Ivory put it, it's not an NV5. Or isn't not an NV5.
We got systems for sale at Costco.
Right?
There you go.
Oh, I had somebody ask me in my stream the other day if they didn't buy it direct from CLX, can they still call customer service and technical support?
Yeah, as long as it's one of ours, yeah, for sure.
Yep. I thought it was a really interesting question because we don't really talk about that much. So yeah.
Yeah, like all of our systems,
Joey's,
bought through Best Buy, Walmart, Newegg, Costco, all those places. You definitely still call us for sure.
Let's see. And Joey Wheels. What's up, Joey? I just got here. Was the first code of the... What was the first code of the day? I believe, because it was just given out, CLX-G-24TY, 24 Tango Yankee. Worth 50 extra entries. Ooh, this is a great shot right here. And I want to point out one of the really cool things about these cases, and Fantex is brilliant for doing this. You see the little black straps? Those are built-in Velcro straps to help with cable management. Now, you've got two different sets of cables. You've got your case cables and then your PSU cables. So, Zach, how do you use these efficiently for making sure you've got the right amount of cable management going on?
Yes, so they allow you to really hone in where all of the cables go from the back to the inside. And that just makes it a lot easier to manage. Like we've got our Type 3 and Type C set up. Once we get our 24 pin going, we've got a nice little area zone for that. And so it just offers a lot more accurate of installation of cables, and a lot more accurate installation of cables makes tie-up a lot easier and cleaner.
Here we go. Mike Henson, first time in, welcome. Says, my Ryzen 5 2600 with a 1660 Super just died over a month ago. Oh, no.
Oh.
So I could really need a new PC. Understandable, my friend. I don't know what I would do without mine.
Right.
Certainly wouldn't have a job. Ryzen 5 2600. Those were hardy processors.
Oh, yeah.
That bad boy down there.
On the bottom.
Yeah.
And this goes in, say the port's facing out.
Yes. Yeah.
I guess it's like, no, it is
yeah,
like
that
this,
way, yeah.
So I'm going to install our secondary hard drive on this panel here. Figuring out how to get this going. But this little door that goes in the back of the case, we've got a lot of room for extra drives in here.
And this, of course, is a 6 terabyte Western Digital Blue HDD. That is 6,000-ish gigs, which is wild. It's enough to install Warzone 1 and Warzone 2. That's a lot of Roblox.
My kid is always talking about Roblox. She's never played Roblox. We don't have anything Roblox at our house. I just pick it up from school.
Yeah, yep. School, man.
I'm like,
That's
you don't even know what Roblox is.
That's that
See,
peer
like
pressure.
the gift card thing in Walmart, the kiosk, you know? Like, ooh, can I get Roblox? I'm like, for what? I don't even have it. Crazy.
See here. Oh, Mike mentions his ASRock A320M HDV R4 died. That's what happened. Oh, so your motherboard just went out. Sad panda. All right, now we've got our fan down on the bottom. We've obviously got our 3 up top, and now we're attaching the more fans over here to the rear. Now, these are going to be intake fans. So we're going to have 4 bringing air in and then 4 pushing air out. And because we're going to be pushing the top 3 through the radiator, it creates a slight environment of positive pressure. How is positive pressure useful?
Positive pressure is useful because that means we have more air coming in than we do leaving, and all the air will go through the proper filtration. Like this, Zach? Am I crazy? Do we want it like this?
Yeah, it'll be like that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
just 2.
Yeah.
All right. It's irritating me.
It takes a village.
I'll go ahead and like install it all, and then like go and set it in here and be like, why is it upside down and backward, and why did I install it? And it's like, it's because like stuff gets lost in translation.
Well, sometimes they'll have them like 2.5 inches are horizontal and 3.5 inches are vertical, but I just don't like just that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Jumping over here to the YouTube side, Travis Moodley. Hello and welcome in. I'm starting a gaming YouTube channel, and I would love to win this giveaway. Yes, it's a good thing.
Yeah,
I'll use this some more. I thought
those
so too.
ones.
Maybe it is.
Well, this is definitely the giveaway to be jumping into. Travis says he currently has a potato laptop.
Oh,
well,
nice.
Potatoes.
At,
I love potatoes. No, that definitely lines up, Zach.
Nice.
I'm hungry for hash browns.
You need to watch Resident Alien with Alan Tudyk. He's an alien, and he always refers to E.T. as a sexy potato. It's so funny.
I think
he's
all
like,
potatoes
and
are
he's got a
sexy.
flashlight for a finger.
That's his most attractive
Oh.
trait.
Yup. It's a sexy potato.
Art Will brings up mentions jumping back to the UART, says the UART interface outputs BIOS information during boot, probably for an external BIOS debug tool. Oh,
It's kind of,
For testing.
yeah, what I was thinking was like something on the testing lines.
I'm jumping back over Mike Henson over here on purple side. What games do you all play? And you using?
I do not use 4K gaming.
Yeah. Only thing that I play in 4K.
We can't talk about those games, DJ.
Siege.
Oh, okay.
Is Siege. Uh-oh.
TJ.
And I know. So see the reason I play Siege in 4K is because it's optimized. I even have a 4K monitor, but there is a trick that you can do, and it puts it out at 4K, compresses it to 1440, and then I've got incredible detail, and I'm still pulling down 200 plus frames a second on Ultra.
Nice.
Yes. Okay. It's mine's because of yes. Very sad about the amount of PCs dying lately. Mentioned Pizza McGee. And Mike Henson brings up a good point. Could be because of cheap parts during COVID? Possibly. You didn't replace your thermal paste for 6 years and fried it? Ooh. Now, how often should you look at replacing your thermal paste, Paul?
If you have a quality thermal paste, then you don't really need to replace it that often. Now, anytime that you remove your cooling system, so anytime you take your AIO or your air cooler or whatever you have cooling your processor off, we always apply new thermal paste every time we take it off. That being said, if you don't mess with yours for a very long time, probably don't need to worry about it as long as you've got a good quality one. Now, if you went with a random brand cooler or something like that, yeah, maybe every like 5 years, maybe you want to put new stuff on there. You could definitely justify doing it earlier than that, but typically, even if that thermal paste starts going bad or not transferring heat that well, your system should shut itself off if it's overheating. So that's pretty unfortunate if your thermal paste fried your computer. Pizza McGee.
Official XM says, I've never owned a PC, so I've never dealt with that. Ah, well, if you win the giveaway, guess what? That'll change. That will change. Okay.
Right, let's get
now, as you can see, we've got the fans up. Yeah, I'm excited for what we're about to
Start with
open up and play with.
And we'll tease everybody with
All
the
right.
70 Ti for the end.
You're mean, and I love it. We're going to be using an MSI Mag 850 watt, 80 plus gold in black, fully modular. So here's a question. What does that mean, fully modular?
It means none of the cables are pre-soldered in. This is our power supply brick right y'all. And we've got a whole secondary bag of cables we'll go through.
Now, with modulars, are there other things that you can do? Well, actually, let's talk about the other types of PSUs.
We've got fully modular like this right here. See all of our ports. And then you've got non-modular where all of our cables are pre-soldered in. And then semi-modular, which is a mixture of both worlds. It's kind of rare. We've done a few on the show, but not a lot of people go with semi-modular. I think it's kind of weird.
Very weird.
Like just go one way or the other.
Bruce over on the red side says, I need for Star Citizen, I'm running a 1060 Ti. Yes, you do. And I love Star Citizen. Absolutely love it. I don't get a chance to play it as much as I would like to, but yeah, with all the new changes, woo, it's so pretty right now. Got my fingers crossed. I want to delve into some AI development. Ooh. I mean, this computer would definitely be able to do that. Curse Long, another today build while on the job. Oh my God, I'm not reading that out loud. Oh my God. Hello from Ohio, BW says.
Dude, I hate that. Oh my goodness, there's nothing like being at home on your throne.
That's what says fun like gas station sushi.
Oh boy.
Okay. Now, what's going to happen with all the extra cables that aren't?
Yeah, so he could.
Yeah, Kirschland's the LEO.
If they try to barge it on it. Give me my space. Oh boy.
Just hang the badge over the door. Okay. Now, when it comes to answer the question about what games do you all play, Money, I'm really into obviously Rainbow Six Siege. I'll be playing that later on today, and then lots of Dying Light 2. I've been really getting into Warhammer 40k Darktide, loving that. We played some Path of Exile 2 periodically, and kind of just whatever's clever. You love Rainbow Six? Yeah. I am in the top 3% of players in the world for shortest lifespan. I die very quickly and easily. Sometimes I do really awesome things, but then all of a sudden I will use up all of my skill and talent in one match, and then I'm garbage the whole rest of the day. And it's just like, hey, there was my skill, there's my talent. Everybody's like, oh, that was a great game. You actually came out on first for once. Awesome. And then I get sniped before I even get in the building for the next 5 games. That's you with Valorant. Jensen says fully modular and the spaghetti monster. Yes. Hello, Sir Giggles. You made me giggle. Beats McGee. And how do you figure out the order to plug in those tiny power plugs to the motherboard for booting and such? Is there a magic trick? That is an amazingly awesome question. Zach or Paul, either one.
So yeah, the front panel connections can be a big pain if you're not familiar with them. Now we've got the whole header memorized because we do it all the time, but a lot of these cases, I believe, does this one, Zach, have just a single front panel header, or does it actually the individual pins? So this case, you don't have to worry about it. It looks almost like a USB connection. You just plug it in, it lines everything up. But if you've got all those individual pins, just pull up, like, Google motherboard front panel header, and it will show you the layout. They're pretty standardized, and you can see it on there. But yeah, they are frustrating to put in if you haven't done it a million times.
Yeah, I've told this story before, but when I did my first gaming PC, which was my streaming PC, because I was console at first, and it took me 6 hours to build this very basic PC because I didn't know how to do any cable management, so I got everything locked in there, and then started putting cables in places and realized, well, I have to take the thing out. I had to take that motherboard out like 6 times. Okay, now we've got our Gigabyte. It is a first time for us here with its 5070 Ti. 5070 Ti from, who's this? Hi, this is our friends over at
Gigabyte.
Yes. I'm excited. So a couple of things to talk about the new 50 series. They are incredibly powerful, but also can run incredibly hot. So, Paul, how does this feel weight-wise so far?
This is a decently heavy card. Nothing crazy, but we will definitely be using an anti-sag bracket for it.
So do you feel like these are not necessarily as heavy as the 40 series?
Probably just as heavy, yeah. If we had a 4070 Ti, yeah, okay. Probably about just as heavy.
Gotcha.
Get all of these plugs out. This is a 3 display port and 2 HDMI video output there. Pretty standard.
Official Mention's been wanting to build my own PC for like 6 or 7 years now. This is a great show to learn how to do that. Money says, I'm actually going from Xbox to PC. I can't wait to get into certain games that console can't showcase as well. I'm going more into the 4K 240 5090. There we go.
There you go.
That is a plan right there, my friend.
It's a big jump, man. My first one was with Dark Souls 3. I was playing that on console, and then I saw a buddy playing it on PC and was like, wait, what? It can look like that? And, yeah.
one of the cool things about like modern gaming is the fact that they've started, more companies and more developers are making everything cross-compatible. So like Rainbow Six Siege, you can now play from console with PC players, which is interesting. Nice. Yeah, I dig that. Cosworth mentions, I'm excited for Expedition 33. It looks to be a proper RPG, not this action crap like Final Fantasy 15 or the Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Expedition 33? I have not heard of this.
I'll tell you what you have heard of.
Oh.
You've heard about Core Code.
Sorry.
And here it is. Your next code is Core. This is worth 100 extra entries into the giveaway. And that is CORE, Charlie Oscar Romeo Echo -2 ER2. That is the number 2, Emergency Room 2, Echo Romeo. 2 ER2. 2 ER, wow. 2 ER2. Try saying that 5 times fast. Apparently I couldn't say it more than twice. So everybody's got that. There you go. Even more entries for you. Like I said, after the CLX show has completed today, I will be on my channel and I'll give away another CLX G code. But you don't want to miss Zach's after show because you'll get more codes. All right. Now you see him using those Velcro elements right there. So is there something specific that you always use the Velcro straps for when you're putting all the cabling in?
I really like using the zip ties to just wrap my cables up, and then I like using the Velcro to place the cables where I want them placed. It just makes it to where we can kind of have, I call it the IT finger. If we go to an inside shot, we have a little bit of excess inside our build so that we could stick a couple fingers behind it and unplug it and plug it back in, making it easy to unplug.
Yeah, cases nowadays are so much more, well, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but I would say efficient. It's just better thought out. Those rubber grommets make it so much easier to be able to place things in places.
Oh, yes.
I was amazed at all the cables mine has. It's wild. All right, getting that put in there. Now, when it comes to... Oh, someone just spark tested their taser on my body camera, turned on automatically, so there is now officially a video of the clouds of me with my pants around my ankles. What?
Nice.
God. 2ER2 is Star Wars lingo.
Wait, somewhat like your partner spark tested, and that is, I'm assuming anytime the taser goes off, it turns on the cam.
Means while he was in the bathroom, someone got tased washing their hands.
Gosh.
Yep, I accidentally tased myself one time, and it was very unfortunate.
I've only been tased
user-friendly cases in abundance.
Ones. I've never been tased by the...
You've never ridden the lightning, as my dad likes to call it.
No. But if Kirschlag ever comes in here, I'll let you tase me. That'd be pretty nuts.
Just not with the prongs. The prongs are, I had my friend left one in my car when I was living over in Bend, and it was the handheld with the 2 metal prongs like this. So I was at Thanksgiving with my roommates at their parents, and I forgot it had been in my jacket pocket. So when I put my jacket around the chair, I had sat down with a plate of food to eat and did not realize that it was on and it was sitting under my butt.
Dang.
I was very, very impressed with how far that food flew. And I just twitched on the ground, and I've never felt more embarrassed in my whole life. But looking back on it, it was hilarious. That would have been YouTube gold. Oh, the taser is made by the same company as our body cameras, Axon. So it sends a Bluetooth signal out and turns it on, all on. Dude, that's great. Honestly, body cams, I think, the greatest thing that have happened to things. You're joking, don't worry. There we go. Hello, JV over on the red side. So, JV, do you know Varsity? Just kidding. Okay, now we're looking at this. So, obviously, we mentioned about a thing called an anti-sag device or anti-sag bracket. Can you explain what that is and why it's important to use with certain cards?
Yeah, so that's going to go on this side of the card. That's going to give it support. You can see where Zach's pointing out right there. We're going to go ahead and install it after we get this card in for this one. But it's going to give the card support over here. That way it doesn't sag over time and cause damage to the card or the motherboard. Anytime you get like usually a triple fan, anything a little bit longer and heavier, you want to use the anti-sag bracket.
Yes. Okay. This looks really good for a 50 series. Like, I was expecting them to be just bulky and gigantic. But this is a 2-slot?
Yeah, it's 2-slotter. Yeah.
That's awesome. Because, I mean, some of the 4090s were like... I mean, this is a 30... I mean, this is a 5070 Ti, but I remember the 4090s were just massive, depending on who you got them from. Are the 5070 Ti's any better than the 4070 or the 4080? Kerslong asks.
So I haven't done any testing or gaming on a 5070 Ti myself, but I can tell you it's definitely going to be better than a 4070 and probably keep up with the 4080 and then outlive and be better than the 4080 as more and more time goes on. It's like next year, for the games that it will be playing, I think the 5070 Ti is going to perform better than the 4080. It's probably pretty neck and neck right out the gate right now, but yeah, as time goes on, the newer video cards will perform better than the previous generation, even if that previous generation is a step higher than the current one.
Yeah, and according to User Benchmark, which is a benchmarking site, yeah, the 4090 is still a wee bit faster than the 5070 Ti. Apparently.
Yeah, it should. I would hope so. I feel real bad if you got a 4090 and then the
5070 just walked all over it. You haven't really read much on the new 50 series yet, Paul. What can you tell us about the 50 series?
The biggest thing
from a technical standpoint.
I did a lot of gaming on the. I say a lot. I did about like 2 days worth of gaming on the 5080 right before we did the first build with it. I was playing Marvel Rivals because I wanted to test the new DLSS. And it was surprisingly awesome. So the new DLSS, I believe it's DLSS 4 right now. What DLS does is basically, I mean, it's a pretty complicated thing, but basically it's using AI to make more frames. So the old DLSS was getting you an extra 1 frame for every frame done. The new one can do up to 3 frames. And where I saw this the most while gaming, like I said, playing Rivals, was I had my GPU utilization over here. And I tested it with DLSS off, and it was fine. It looked good. It was a little grainy on the outlines, but when I turned it on, everything was way more crisp, and then my GPU utilization also went down like 20 to 30%, depending on what was going on in the game. So that was pretty impressive to me. That means the card's going to run cooler, and it's going to last longer, and just you got that much more headroom with it on. So, yeah,
nice.
Pretty big fan of that.
All right, while we're getting this put back together, let's take ourselves into an adventure. We are going to our website so I can show you how to get this amazing PC for yourself. So, here at CLXgaming.com, we try and make it as simple and easy as possible to get the PC of your dreams. Now, for doing so, you can select anything from a small to a big one. We've got sets all the way up to RAWs, liquid cooled, either to open loop, closed loop, and it's all here. We've got pretty much a one-stop shopping center for all things computers. You want Intel? We've got Intel. We've got AMD, Radeon, NVIDIA. I believe we even have some ARCs. The whole ability to choose what you want to do here is fantastic because you can't screw it up. If you do, see that little button that went yellow up top? It says solve conflict. In this example, the power supply isn't strong enough for the graphics card that was chosen. So the system's going to say, hey, either you need to choose one of these compatible power supplies that are going to be able to, pump enough juice into that, or you need to choose a different graphics card. So once you solve the problem, that little button turns back to green, and it's right there. You can also choose in here over in the Foundry plate part. You can have upgraded thermal paste. If you want us to overclock your GPU, we can do that. You want to overclock the CPU, we can do that too. And what's great is the fact that you get to choose all of it. And our accessories page is the best one. It's the most fun. So first of all, right there, the very first thing you land on, you can get yourself a CLX t-shirt like this. You can get yourself a CLX hoodie, windbreaker. Love them. I keep almost saying hoodie every time. But, and then everything else you could possibly think of to need. Keyboards, mice, controllers, headsets. You need mics for streaming. We've got Beacon mics. We've got Beacon Mix Creates. We even have Elgato capture cards. So a little bit of everything. You want speakers, monitors. We've got it all. We even have routers and chairs. So, but as much as that is awesome, some people feel a little overwhelmed with that. So that's why we have the RTS section, which is ready to ship. And those ready to ship PCs are already pre-built right there in the same warehouse, tested, and they're looking for a new home, and that home could be yours. They come in 4 different flavors. We've got the entry level, all the way up to entry level, mid range, and then the high performance and ultra, I think is what they're called. But there are high performance and ultra high performance. This will give you a good idea as to, what kind of performance you're going to be expecting, as well as determining what goes into it at that level of the build. So, with that being said, for all of your future PC needs, head on over to clxgaming.com and see what we can do for you. Now, I want to cover one thing because I love this case. It looks so good. So, Paul, when I mentioned that all of the ready to ships are already tested, what do I mean?
Yeah, so the ready to ship's just like any custom PC like this one right here. Once they're built, they go to testing. They all go through the same process. We'll get into the BIOS of the machine, make sure our RAM speed's set correctly, all of our storage devices are showing up, and then we'll load the operating system, and that is all we load on them. Now, we do have some games on our website you can select if you want a game preloaded or something like that. But other than that, it's just a fresh install of the operating system. You're not going to get any bloatware. None of the extra crap that you don't want on your PC. Then after everything's been loaded, we're gonna stress test the system for 12 hours, burn it in, make sure everything's stable. That way when you get it, you don't have any issues at home. And for PAN again, I wouldn't say USB flash drives. They're great for like storing pictures, videos, and stuff like that, but I wouldn't use it as like a secondary hard drive inside your system or anything.
Unless it's like an external hard drive. Mm-hmm. But USB flash drives just don't have enough oomph behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the way, final code for this portion of the show, and it is MEGA CLKB. Now, that's worth 200 extra entries. That is Charlie, Lima, Kilo, Bravo. So that is great. That is awesome. So that's even more entries. So now, let's take a look at what we've built for none other than Ramon in New Jersey.
Now this one's doing something weird. Well, the lights look good.
Mm-hmm. The lights look
I know, the lights look good when they're on.
I don't know, can you guys hear that clicking? I believe we have a bad power supply here. So we're going to have to take this back to the lab and get that troubleshot. But yeah, it sounds like we got that. We got some weird noise coming from the power supply. So we're going to have to go troubleshoot that.
It happens. And
it's been a long time since we've had like a failure, but yeah, sometimes this happens.
The lights still look really awesome.
Yeah, the lights still look good.
The lights look amazing. All right. So this show is you can still change them? All right. So this show's going to happen in 2 parts. In just a few moments, we are going to be taking a break. When we come back, you get to spend the afternoon with Zach as he continues to build some amazing PCs. And who knows? You might find more codes. So, don't forget, this show is at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern on Tuesdays here on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. On Thursdays, we're live at 11 a.m. Pacific on TikTok. You don't want to miss that. You can find codes across our social media, such as YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. I refuse to call it X. All at CLX Gaming. You could possibly find codes in the Discord, and that's discord.gg/CLX Gaming. It's a great place with a bunch of like-minded PC enthusiasts. And then, of course, you can find them on my streams after CLX shows or when I'm streaming. So, there you go. With that being said, on behalf of Kyle and Jason in production, Paul and Zach, I'm DJ Blue PDX. Stick around. We've got more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
Bye. What is up, Scooby Gang? I hope everybody's having a fantastic week. I hope you guys are excited for a very fun week. Yeah, that both works. It all tracks. We got a really nice build going on with us today. I've got the Kick up and I've got the Twitch up. If you have a questiones, I will do my very best to answer it. We've got all of the fun stuff that we are building today. You are not going to want to miss it. I will tell you that much right now. Okay, let's do cable. Okay, today, welcome back. Hello, Mike. How are you today? Hello. How is everybody doing? Okay, with me today, I have an Intel Core i9 14900 kilo. We are cooling all of that with an Aztec 360 liquid cooler in black. We have with us today an MSI Z790 Carbon Wi-Fi motherboard. This is the second edition of the Carbon Wi-Fi board. We have a grand total of 128 gigabits of 6,000 megahertz of memory modulars today. It's kind of a lot. And all of that is Corsair powered. And then we have a Western Digital 8 terabyte SN850X black NVMe M.2. It's really nice, really fast, really